Anthony Hartwig here with another fall sports season preview. We're on the football field today with the Campbell head coach, Andrew King. Coach, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thanks, Anthony. Thanks for having me.
One of the things we do with these season previews, before we get into the fun stuff about this season, I want to talk a little bit about last year, the lessons you think that this roster learned, and the things that you hope the returning players can kind of take from last year's experience into this year.
Yeah, last year we had some young guys playing. You learn a lot more from a loss than I think a win. Sometime, so these guys have had a fair share amount of lessons learned the hard way, and I think they've learned that hard work and dedication throughout the whole year. Whether you're playing basketball in the off season, you're doing track, baseball, you still got to find time to get in the weight room, work hard, kind of work on the little things, so you're preparing yourself for the football season too. So I think this young roster that we have has learned a lot because of those hard times they had the last couple of years.
When you're going through a season with a young roster like you did last year, is it in the back of your head as a coach like, hey, we're going through it right now, but it will pay dividends in the future? Do you try to keep that in perspective?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you think of it now, this is my fourth year being a Camel, and these freshmen that played, unfortunately, they were freshmen playing at the time. Now, fortunately, they were freshmen playing because they have 3 years of experience coming into their senior year. So we have a lot more, I think, ability now that they have the I guess bodies to do what they need to do. They're getting beat up as freshmen and things like that, but now sophomore, junior year has gone by. Now hopefully they're going to be doing the beating up.
I want to talk about this roster and the names that we're going to be seeing from Campbell. I want you to go through the big names and maybe some new faces that we might see on the team as well.
Sure. Some of the big names here are Kevin Timlin, Mihaly Kulias, senior-wise. You'll see Tion Harris. Got a lot of names. Junior, Caleb Boudre. Then a slew of sophomores, I feel like, that kind of made their way at the end of the year last year into the starting lineup. Demetrius Lambert is going to be our quarterback and corner. He's a special athlete. Armani Robinson. You have Dre Brown, who's going to be a great running back for us. He's a little terror down there. I call him my little Tiki Barber because he's just a short guy. And, I mean, he's going to hopefully push close to 1,000 yards this year, you're hoping. So those are some of the big names. You'll see some new names that you're going to see. Caden Thomas at center is going to be just a huge foundation for us. I mean, this kid's a sophomore. He's a special athlete. He started almost a whole year last year, but didn't get a lot of recognition because we had some senior linemen last year that kind of took that over. But this kid is pretty special on the line. Caleb Boudre is kind of a new name, but old name. I talked about him already. And, there's a slew of others that, Dino Brown at Mike linebacker. He's going to be a junior, but sneakily has played 3 years now. So starting at Mike linebacker. So I'm excited to see. Hopefully he's a 100 tackle kind of kid.
So when we're talking about all these names and all these great names at Campbell, and we know that you guys, like you said, have a really good senior class this year, who's starting to kind of step up as that leadership that you're seeing in the locker room, that energy guy, vocally leading the team, second coach on the field? Who are some guys that are starting to kind of stand out as those leaders?
Yeah, Kevin Timlin is definitely a leader by example and a leader vocally as well. He's your senior guy that's you would call him kind of like a team guy, also a Camel guy. His brother played here. He's been around for a long time. He's seen his brother play, and then he got a chance to play. So he's looking forward to that. He was a captain last year as a junior. Mihaly was a captain as a junior, and he's continuing to be a leader by example. He knows every single position on the field, skill-wise. And then the name I said earlier, Caden Thomas, is a vocal leader on the O-line. I mean, this kid is going to be a special kid, I think.
I want to transition into talking about your schedule. You're on the new other side of the MVAC this year. A lot of new opponents, people that but maybe didn't get to play a whole lot or maybe played just once in the non-conference. So what excites you about being on the other side of the MVAC? How do you see it shaking up, and what are some of your expectations about it?
The biggest thing I like to see is when you go on like Joe Itel or something like that and you look at everybody's schedule, you see Division 6, Division 6, Division 7, Division 7. So there are size school. We're right there with them. I feel like it's a little bit more fair than seeing Division 5, 5, 5, 5, 5 on the other bracket, some Division 6. So in terms of size wise, I think we're comparable. You're looking at the same style of play a little bit there when it's like that. You're all on the same page, I guess. Like plan A and then plan D is what you have if you're a small school football team. So I like that part of it. I like that. I feel like we're going to be a very athletic team compared to some of the teams that we're going to play in the conference. So if we can use that to our advantage in any way, it should be good. But it's going to be super competitive. I feel like we're going to be competing every single game in the fourth quarter, no matter if we're playing Jackson, Milton, Waterloo, Springfield, Lowville, Western Reserve, all those teams, McDonald. They're all teams that we're going to have to play 4 quarters of football to have a chance. And that's what you want to do. In high school football, you want all 4 quarters. You want to fight. You want to learn and win the right way.
We also know that the non-conference schedule is very important in football. Those first 3 weeks before you get into the league, getting yourself ready, learning about your team. Who are the teams that pop up in the first 3 weeks that are getting you ready for the MVAC play?
Yeah, so week 1 is St. Thomas Aquinas. We're going there this year. We played them last year. It's a second year with their head coach. So looking forward to seeing that skill. I think we're going to see a lot of skill out of them and match our talent, I think so. Don't know much about them, but right now that's our focus is obviously week 1 and fighting for that, 1-0 week by week. And then week 2, we go LeBray. They're going to be, a pretty tough team. From what I've heard, those kids are going to be tough-nosed kids, and they are doing the right thing over there with Elliott. And then Champion's got a new head coach, but Champion, those guys are in our old league, LeBray and Champion. So we're going to have to fight. You know what I mean? It's never been an easy way to win over on the other side of that league. So we're playing 2 of those league teams in the non-conference now. And I think it's a good test for us because if we're coming in with a positive record going into the league, I think we're going to be in good shape.
So you said before, 4th year at Campbell, and that's an interesting year for coaches because you have to worry less and less about establishing your culture for the program and trying to get people, invested into what your expectations are. What kind of luxury is it as a coach every year to have to worry about that less and worry about other things like just what's on the field a little bit more?
Yeah, it's been really nice to have laid down, I would like to call it like an expectation. Having this expectation set down of this is when practice is, we're going to start here, we're going to do this. This is how practice is ran. We're going to do special teams here, offense here, individual group, small group. So they understand how the practice time flows, how the off season flows, and it makes it for smoother transitions where you're not doing as much babysitting and you're doing more coaching.
Now let's talk about the coaches you have. We can't let this interview go without you talking about your staff and the people that are working with you because we know football teams take a village to run, right? Football programs take a lot of people. So talk about the people you have behind you and the people that are making this Campbell program great.
Listen, I would not be able to do anything here. My name might be on here, but without my support staff and coaching staff, I don't think I'd be able to do anything. And every head coach should feel that way, I think. But especially here, these guys are fantastic. I have Steve Hunt, Tremaine Venable, Cam Henley, James Schaefer, John Ritz, Tyrell Rogers. These guys are all special and unique in their own way. They all have their role on the coaching staff, and they take that role and they ride with it. And these kids love them for it. I love them for it. How practice is going to start because Coach Schaefer is going to start it with lifting. We're going to do this, that. We know that Coach Hunt's going to make sure that you're on point and called every time. Like everybody has their own role, and they are just fantastic. I literally can just sit back at times and enjoy a little bit of practice because my guys have been like well-oiled and they know what they're doing. I don't have to ever question or worry about what's getting done.
Coach, we want to thank you so much for your time previewing this this Camel season that we're looking ahead for. I told you before the recording, you're going for the record for most Coaches Corner on YSN. We love having you on. We hope to have you on again this season, and we can't wait for Camel football. We wish you the best of luck. We'll talk again real soon.
Anytime I can talk football with you guys, I love it. Thank you guys for having me.